show you guys underneath there.
Here under the hood, I had to break out the trusty step stool to get out to give you guys a better view of some things. I guess to start, we will go with the intake. Many of you might know this is a 6637 intake. Some people call it the Napa filter. Yes, they sell it at Napa, sell it at a lot of places. But 6637 intake, probably the most common intake filter put on 7.3 Powerstrokes. There's some people that say it doesn't do any better. I personally think that it does make a good improvement. It doesn't give you 100 horsepower or anything, but it is a massive filter that just provides a lot more air into the engine, and it's cheap. That's the biggest thing, is it's probably the most affordable intake you can put on your truck other than keeping it stock. Moving back, we will go to the exhaust, which you probably can't see very well, but back there we have a 4-inch downpipe. Thank the Lord, the guy that owned this truck before me put it on there, because I had to put the one on my last truck and it was a pain in the butt. It does fit, but it is a very tight fit. So there's a 4-inch downpipe coming off the turbo that leads back to a 4-inch straight pipe out the back of the truck. Now, one other thing I have done to this truck is, I guess technically it's two, but not too long ago I ended up installing a CNC 4-line feed kit for the fuel system. Now, many of you guys may know that these are a dead-headed fuel system. So what that means is that the fuel comes in one side of the head and then the other side of the head is plugged. And because of that, any air or any junk that gets into the system, which I guess technically junk shouldn't be getting in the system, but any air that gets into the system has to go out the injectors pretty much, which isn't good. And so these things are known for their 8th injector knock. One, because of air getting into the system, and 2, because the number 8 cylinder fires right after the number 6 cylinder. It can sometimes get starved for fuel because that's at the very end of the fuel rail, and so it can get kind of lack of fuel and give you a little bit of a knock. It's not the end of the world, but it can get annoying, and technically it's not great for your injectors, but that's just how the factory fuel system is. And so I went through, and there's CNC Fabrication, I believe is the name of the company. They create a fuel system that ties in all 4 corners of the heads and feeds them all fuel at the same time, so you kind of get equal fuel pressure throughout the whole system. So it's really hard to see. I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see it, but I'll be able to give you guys a little bit of a glance of it. You can see right here this nice shiny new stainless steel tube that's going into the front of the passenger side head, and then down in there, let's see if I can get a light for you guys. Down in there it is, right there. That is the fuel line going to the front of the driver's side head, and then there's one going to the back and one going to the back. Now they all meet in the middle. Let me see. They all meet in the middle down here. You guys aren't going to be able to see it very well, but they come in below or in front of the fuel bowl, I guess behind it technically, and tie in together so they can all get fuel together. And those, I can tell you, made a huge difference on the idle quality of my truck. It just idles much smoother. I downloaded a cheap decibel reader on my phone, so I can't say it's completely accurate, but my decibels inside the cab dropped close to 5 decibels, which doesn't seem like a ton, but it makes a pretty substantial difference in noise sound or noise quality or noise levels. So I'm very happy with that upgrade I did to the truck. and it should provide me a good foundation for when I start adding more fuel mods in the future. Hint, hint. Injectors will be coming for this truck at some point. Along with that, I ended up doing the oil crossover between the two heads, which kind of equals out the pressure. You're not going to be able to see it really well, but back in there you can kind of see that shiny fitting right there. There's one there, and there's one over there, and it connects the oil tubes, or the oil rails, on both heads together to kind of equal out the pressure between the two heads, make it a little easier on your high pressure oil pump, not get it beat around as much, and again help kind of smooth out the idle a little bit, make it just make it run smoother and healthier. So that's pretty much everything I have done under the hood so far. We'll head on into the cab and I will show you the gauge system and the tuner that I have on this truck.
Alright, well, I almost forgot. Of course, I have to give you guys a clip of the exhaust. I can't talk about a 4-inch straight pipe without at least showing you what it sounds like. So we're going to give you a bit of a cold start this morning, and then once it warms up, we'll give you a little more of a sound test to see what it sounds like. Now, it's not too much of a cold start. It's probably in the 40s, getting down into the low 30s every night, but it has been sitting for a few days. So we're going to see how it sounds like. Inside the truck, started up beautifully. Although 7.3s usually have a tougher time starting in cold weather, one, it's really not that cold outside, but two, properly maintained, these things do really well. One of the biggest problems is a lot of people don't maintain their trucks fully, and because of that, that's why they have a lot of troubles starting in colder weather. But moving on into the interior mods, really not a whole lot done. Here is my gauge system, which, trying to get it so you don't have a glare. This is the Edge Insight CTS monitor, and it's awesome. As you can see, I got oil temp in the top middle. I have my RPMs top right, trip odometer top right, my IPR, which is my injection pressure regulator. It shows the numbers for that. My injection control pressure down below that. Transmission temps. This thing will give you pretty much everything you need, and it is a true plug-and-play system, which is super nice. Don't have to worry about tying in and wiring all your gauges. It just plug and play down in the OBD2 port down below your dash, and it runs great. The one complaint I have with it, which isn't a complaint about it really, is these trucks from the factory don't have an EGT gauge or an EGT sensor, and so obviously just plugging this in, you're not going to get your EGTs. So you have to do that aftermarket, which it comes with its own sensor, or you can buy a sensor for it that you just hook up. It's not all that hard. It's just like hooking up any other EGT gauge. I haven't done that quite yet, but I will be doing that in the near future. So this thing really is awesome. You can go and monitor even more. Literally every sensor that you have in your truck, you can do, or you can monitor it.
Now I can do a more in-depth video on the CTS if you guys would like. I probably will in the future, but just that's my gauge monitoring system for now. And now we can move on to my tuner, which is right there. Give you guys a better view. This is the blinker controls are right in the way. This is the Jesus. All right, give you the best video we can. This is the PHP Hydra. This is a kind of the standard in the 7.3 chip industry nowadays. It's got 17 slots, which obviously you don't need 17 tunes on their truck, but it's got 17 spots to put any tunes you want. When you buy it, you get access to PHP's tuning system, and you can choose the tunes you want. And then, which makes this chip even better, is you can actually get tunes from other tune writers and download them onto this chip, so you're not just stuck with one company's stuff, and you can do that download yourself. I will do another in-depth video on that itself, because it is a pretty cool and complex, I wouldn't say complex, but cool and decent system of its own. So I'll do another video on that chip itself. Right, so overall, that's my truck. I know this wasn't like an exciting video necessarily, but now you guys know what I have done to my truck, and kind of the starting point for this build on this channel. Hopefully we have a lot more stuff coming for this thing. I'm really excited to kind of go down that road and see what we can make this thing do. It's not going to be crazy, because she is my daily driver, but I'm really excited to see what we can do. I'll do another video of kind of my build plans for this truck, but for now you guys know what I have done to it. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. I'm sure I missed some stuff, but overall, it's been great having you guys here. If you're interested in this build or this content, please subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more stuff to come, as you can tell. But have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.